Hey up, hope you're well. It's that time, so I've got to clean the Nexus, so I thought I'd quickly run through that and a quick talk about the big blue Dechlorinator. I'll go through that first. I've just put this in. I haven't decided where I'm going to keep it permanently yet. Obviously, I wanted something good enough to keep the water tip top, because I am going to have a trickle in on this system, but I just haven't decided where it's going to be yet. So those that don't know, I mean, it was relatively new to me, the big blue, I'll be honest. I have seen it on people's videos, so ignore me if I'm preaching to the converted and everybody already knows about them, but basically this one's the 4 foot and it's activated carbon, and it filters out all the chlorine. So I want to give a quick shout out to, I think it's Dave at Coastal Koi. He was reluctant to sell until I was certain what additives are in my mains water supply, and namely whether it was chlorine or chloramines, because the activated carbon will not filter out chloramines. You'll have to get a different kind, I think it's catalytic carbon for chloramines, which they do sell, but he just wanted to ensure that if you're buying a unit, then you've got the correct unit for your supply. So a quick phone call to the water board was all it took, and they confirmed I've just got chlorine in my system, not chloramines, so I've just got the basic activated carbon. So this is a 4 foot. As far as flow rates, like I said, this is just going to be servicing the trickle in, trickle out, and they suggest, and it is only suggestions, there's no real way to tell exactly how much it is the best amount of flow to get in and out. It's they reckon the dwell time of the water needs to be about 4 minutes, so you can roughly work out your flow rate going in to how long it takes to come out. They recommend 4 minutes. This is rated roughly, again it's best guessing, at 600 litres a minute, 600 litres an hour. Obviously the bigger the canister, the more flow you can put through. So I appreciate this is not a massive system, 2,500 gallons, but it just made more sense if you're outlaying that kind of money. And I say that kind of money, they're not mega expensive. I suppose they're on par with replacing filter cartridges every few months. So yeah, that's that. You need to back flush them every now and again, and when I do get round to doing that, I will put a video out. So very quick look. This is the pre-filter. Red button is pressure valve for when you change the cartridge. So pre-filter into there, and this yellow is going to be the return to the tanks eventually. And that's that. Yeah, not a lot to say about that. So what we are going to do, we're going to look at cleaning the Nexus out. Couple of bits and bobs. Get the lid off. Right, as you can, well, I don't know if you can see, I've noticed obviously it lets me know when it needs a clean, because the outer ring drops ever so slightly, the level drops. You can see it started to roll again. Everyone keeping up with the channel know I've just put another 100 litres in here, so it is starting to boil nicely now, but the water level is low. So that just indicates to me that I need to clean the centre chamber, and it is really easy. They say that it's a dry hands operation, so you don't need to get your hands wet. I always get my hands wet, but mainly by choice. I get my hands in and make sure that centre chamber's nicely turned over. So what we'll do, we'll turn the pump off, and then the water level then will equalise between the two chambers, so you might be able to see that this outer ring is now coming up ever so slightly. I must admit, having only owned it for a few months, I'm really impressed. I'm impressed with the way it filters. I'm also impressed with the ease and the quickness in which you can clean it. It's not a laborious job at all. For me it's quick and easy, and I know there are people that don't like them. There's people who prefer drums. and I can fully appreciate why people do prefer drums, but I can't afford drums, so we've got a Nexus. But I am really pleased with it. So yeah, you can see that water level's come up nicely now. We've got a trusty toilet brush. All you do, I mean, I've got isolators on all the tanks, so I could just isolate the bottom drains, but the supply that, the drains aren't too pushy, so the supply that drops in nicely, and it does the job. That stops the flow. We turn the air off to the centre and turn the air off. What are we doing? Oh, see, this is why I don't do how-tos, because I'm only going at it. Yeah, stick the centre pod in. There you go. Try again. Basically that prevents backflush of all the rubbish going into this outer chamber. So if you boil this without that pipe, it'll all end up mucking the whole system up. So we nearly did. I'll blame that on a bloke trying to multitask, trying to do a video and clean at the same time. So yeah, while that's boiling, all I do, I get the toilet brush and go down the sides. This is where it's by choice. I mean, again, for me, I can then look at it and say, yeah, that's spot on. I'm not missed anything. So yeah, 30 seconds, there you go. But then what I really do, and it's mainly because I have sipper axe in this centre chamber, I will go in and agitate the sipper axe, which invariably sits at the bottom. I should get some full length arm gloves, to be honest. There you go, there's some sipper axe there. You can see it's starting to boil through now. There we go. So I'm now going to leave that to boil. I'm going to give it a good 5-10 minutes and then we'll get back to it. Right, so we've been boiling for 5-10 minutes now. All we're going to do, I'm going to stop the air to that centre ring, and we're just going to go, and it goes straight down to waste. So this isn't a permanent pipe, you'll notice, because I don't always want it going to waste. I want to utilise it and put most of it on my garden, especially when the weather's good. But just on this instance, it's going to waste. We'll let that drain down. So there now, hopefully you can see the bottom chamber there nice and clean. So we're just going to close the valve off and then we'll refill. It's easy as removing that. So because I haven't got the trickle in, trickle out yet, I'll do this a couple of times, and just so that constitutes a decent water change rather than it needs the extra cleaning. It does a little bit of purge of the bottom drains, you can see some more coming through. So again, another reason why I've run it through twice. And that's about that. So I'm going to leave it there, I've bored you all enough. I'm going to sort this airline out. You can see this is yellowed a little bit, and it's actually split on this here, so I'm just going to replace it with some of this stuff. Other than that, thanks very much for tuning in. Thanks for everyone who liked and subscribed, and we'll see you all again next week. Cheers.